Hi, everybody. We're back.
Hello!
Yay!
It's Monday!
That's
Monday.
Friday, because we're doing Lower Decks review.
Well, time travel was last week. Well, I guess if this is invisible week. Aha! That doesn't quite work, does it? Hello, Stuart. Welcome back to Trekyards.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so we couldn't do one on Friday, so we're doing it today. Upper Decks. Well, Lower Decks, Season 5, Episode 8. Upper Decks. Yay!
Yes. Yes, indeed. And tomorrow, Stuart, what have we got? Because you might all be wondering, what?
It's Phoebe.
Oh, there was a new trailer for Section 31 coming out January 24th.
Big trailer.
So we're going to look at the trailer tomorrow.
Big trailer. I mean, it's at least got twice as much to talk about than the other one. So,
Sure, yeah.
it's a dense trailer with things that we may or may not be able to talk about. We'll find out tomorrow. So tune in, same time, same place. It'll be interesting. I'm sharing it. 1 second.
Anyway, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. 17 people here, 17 likes. That's a good ratio. Keep that up. But if you haven't hit like yet, please do so. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. You have the notification bell icon clicked to all. Would be great. And yeah, super chat in if you're able to. Let us know your thoughts on this episode that we're going to talk about today. Do a complete breakdown and review for you guys. Yeah, hopefully have a little bit of fun in the process. So anyways, you know what to do. You've got your assignments. Also, don't forget that there is a join button down there. You can join us on YouTube or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. Join us over there on a monthly basis. That really helps us out immensely, more than you realize, and we really appreciate that. So anything you can do to help, we appreciate. There are links down below as well to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. So check those out and grab yourself some cool Trekyards merch if you're able to. Or just, shop around, look at the stuff, see what they got. They got a lot of cool stuff. It's not all Trekyards related, of course, but that's fine. We won't hold that against them. So check it out. Use the links down below. It really helps us out immensely. So please do that. But yes. So yeah, as I said, tomorrow we will be talking about the Section 31 trailer that dropped. For some reason. Yay. And anyway, so join us for that as well. And yeah, make sure you have the notification bell icon is clicked so you don't miss any of that content, either edited or live, because there's always lots to talk about, and we're here to do it, because that's what we do.
So say we... Wait, wrong show.
Sure. So say we... Well.
So, Stuart, what do you think of Season 5, Episode 8 of Lower Decks, the Upper Decks one and... As you know, the most important question, what do you think on multiple viewings? Because I've always talked to you after the first viewing. But now after the second, third, fourth, fifth, and 10th viewing, what did you think? And let us know as I do a poll.
I really enjoyed this one, actually. I don't think it's my favorite of the season, but it's definitely in the upper echelon for this season for me. I thought it was kind of funny that, all of our lower deckers got sidelined in it, and it was just about the upper deckers, because I love Freeman, I love Ransom, I love, Billups and all those guys, and it was fun to have all these different stories going on. And the lower deck people just be so oblivious to it that, like, oh, nothing happens without us. We're the main characters. We're the stars. Without us, nothing happens. I thought it was fun, and sure, I wish there was more of them kind of walking down the corridor and seeing, like, Billups or somebody running by doing something, and it's like, what's he doing? Oh, not much. Who knows what with him. Wish there was more of that, but there was a limited amount of time, and it was very fast paced because you kept cutting from story to story to story, so it didn't feel drawn out to me. It was fun. It was a fun episode for me. I really enjoyed it. So that's my take on it.
And on multiple viewings, how did that change? Knowing where they were going.
It got better, honestly, because I got to live in each of the stories a little bit more because I knew what to expect coming up. And I don't know. I just enjoy it. It's a fun ride. Just like Lower Decks, like the episode of Lower Decks from TNG. It's got that feel, obviously, because that's what it's supposed to be.
A fair parallel.
Yeah. And it's cool because I'm glad Mike McMahon got a chance to do this, because that episode of TNG Lower Decks was his inspiration to make the show.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the reverse of that. And I think it was really fun and really well done. Some fun action and just some cool stuff. So yeah, I and multiple viewings just kind of improved it for me, honestly. So what about you? What did you think of the episode? And now that you've seen it more than once, has it changed at all?
I think there's a poll, Stuart. You should let people know about it. Come on, I want to hear people's thoughts.
I'll go read the poll real quick. What did you think of the episode? Loved it? Liked it? Decent? Didn't like it? Nope, sorry. It was okay. Just okay.
Trying to make it more clear with the subdivisions. Yes, I think it's better in more watches. But as I said, I still roughly where I am when we first watched it, which is it's good, but does nothing great. And that's kind of sad, because the original Lower Decks episode did a lot of stuff great, and it ended on a really strong, sharp note that really sweeps your legs under you, so it leaves you with an impression. This one, nothing particularly leaves an impression, because everything's just good. And I'm at the end, I'm going to ask you to sub-rate different story arcs, because it kind of is an episode of B-plots, kind of. And they all are very different in quality. And that's kind of a shame. I definitely wished they were integrated in any way. As in, the engineering malfunction should have been caused by the cricket people, as should the Parray thing, but the Bajoran thing. If it had all been integrated to make the baddies more baddie, otherwise it creates so many sub-stories that you've got to judge them all separately. And like I say, they radically vary in quality and interest, which is not the best thing. I think personally I find the Galaxian stuff the most interesting, because it leads to something, it adds to something, doesn't do much, doesn't go anywhere. I really thought we were going to have... I don't know why even in second watch I thought this, which makes no sense, I've always seen it. But I was once again thinking, are we going to relate this to him dying and the Black Mountain, and that's where his visions come from? That'd have been a lovely world building on the Koala and the Great Black Mountain. Nope. Is it a Parray thing? Could he be an instrument of them teasing? Nope. It's just he's just brain hurt, and it's just figment of imagination. So I don't know what, that could have been bigger and bolder. The Tiana stuff was not well done. She shouldn't be a staff medical officer based on her actions, and she was assaulting people, so that was not well done. Just would have cut that personally. Although I like the second guy, but that against Tiana, anyone that's good. Freeman's good, straightforward, simple, straightforward. Obviously, your meme now is going to be iconic. That thumb up is now going to be perfect, really fun, and she shows her great medium, right? She's not a great captain, not a great leader, not great anything, but she is decent, and she decented her way out of the scenario, very in character. Good job, her. I definitely like Ransom less, because he just bad command styling. If your only way of solving a problem is to look terrible and to make everyone dislike you more and work around you, then you're just a bad officer. You might have a good trick up your sleeve, but it's a bad officer move to not be able to do it any other way. So he's definitely worse for this, in my opinion. I get it, but I prefer lots of other ways. Especially as the first third is super strong, and it gets weaker the further it goes for me. I like the engineering thing as a standalone piece. That was really in keeping, and seeing Bill just happy to do anything small is really nice. But again, it had nothing to do with the main plot, nothing to do with the side plot, and nothing to do with anything. So it's just what it is. Moving on, right? So it's kind of odd in that regard. And I was definitely missing those cut to them in the room carving, giant rah, 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 and then hard cut to them. And it's just peaceful, serene. There's nice music playing, and maybe to Lynn says, should we check in with the rest of the ship? We are on mute, quiet mode. No, it's fine. I'm sure everyone's fine. And then back out, and it's a firefight. I don't know how they didn't hear or see what was going on, so I'm sort of disbelief a little bit, because I'm sure the ship was being rocked by something, or I don't know. Something was going on that you could probably feel or hear, but I guess not. Don't know.
Interesting.
Yes. So yeah, good, but nothing great. Like, there was no cherry on top, not even any particular frosting, and all weaker because it didn't integrate for me.
Yeah. I think ranking the stories, Shax's was the best, then Billups, then the Space Cows, then Freeman's, then Tiana's for me.
Yeah, I'd probably put Freeman over the cows, because it was a more interesting look at what life is like.
Little shades of Data's Day there a little bit.
Yeah.
But I loved hearing everybody's kind of personal logs as well, so it was nice.
Yeah. And I don't know why. It's always hard to explain why Starfleet officers can be that resentful for each other, having Delta and Beat Shift be so hateful to each other. It's just hard to watch sometimes because like that wouldn't happen. Doesn't make sense. It's not very Starfleet, and also they're both up. What's going on if all 3 shifts? Because our guys are Alpha shift, so all 3 shifts are working at the same time. Okay, I know it's not that important in the grand scheme, but it's like that never happens. They all share bunks. At least they used to.
Yeah. Well, we got a super chat or two, so let's get to those. Olivia, $5. It's the mod team that does most of the work on Trekyards. All our senior officers do is sit around and make videos. Not really. Make sure you hit like. Thank you, Olivia.
Yes, we just do that.
That's it. That's all we do. Yeah. And Sean O'Sullivan puts in €2. Have no fleet paw. Fear is here. That's funny. When that first came in, I read it and I said, "Oh, I read it as have no fear, fleet paw is here," because I'm dyslexic and stupid, and I was like, "Oh, he's taking over fleet paw's position." But no, I love that it's worded that way. So that's funny.
But our fleet paw has to be here to make me to remove the fear that I've now been given.
I know, right?
Yes. All right. We start with a good cold open. Planets, whatever's much fun on a second watch because you're like, oh, those bugs and oh, the crickets and all the stuff works better second watch.
Clickets, not crickets. Yes. Clickets.
I know.
Yes, Halloween pumpkin carving. I think they. I wonder if they planned for this to be released closer to Halloween because it's close, but it's just a little off. It should have been before, but
yeah. And I love the meta commentary of, the aliens know more about our culture than we do. I mean, we know more about some of them than they do. Yes, 100%. Yeah. And Boimler had the same thing in the Klingon episode. So great commentary, great note, fun little thing.
And yeah, Rutherford doesn't have a beard this week. He's shaved that, so that's fine. And,
it's so quick to grow. He can just
exactly.
Start it well. It's not an issue.
But he does a nice carving of the Cerritos in a pumpkin as well as V'ger. And we find out too that Mariner was stuck in a painting, and Boimler was like, "Oh, I've always wanted to be stuck in a painting." What? Have you really though? Is that a thing?
I mean, there might be some sort of like famous legacy player who was. It's like, oh, that's like a cool mission, but the chance of that happening is so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we do get a mention of Kirk, Sisko, and Janeway.
Which, in fairness, their crew are no Kirk, Sisko, and Janeway.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Like, it's not like they do anything. We're the stars around here. It all happens to us. They're no Kirk, Sisko, or Janeway. So
if they did stuff, they still wouldn't be a Kirk, Sisko, and Janeway. But it was nice. Obviously, every line here was carefully chosen to reference the meta show as well.
Yeah.
And it works very well. So it's a good cold open that you need to nice low-key thing, chill, hang out, Boimler stubble, madness.
And Rutherford even goes on to say, yeah, our guys mostly spend their time doing paperwork. Anyway. Yeah. So, yes, it's their day off, they say. So, we're sort of the stars of the show around here. The commander just seems to fade into the background. Yeah, that's great.
It's funny because it is almost as heavy-handed as you can get, but from Mariner's mouth in this sort of lighthearted scene, it feels right. So well done them for toning that right. It could have been too silly, but it was like, yes, that's the line. You hit the line. Good job.
Yeah.
But they're gonna go do some snacks. So they're gonna go, go and get snacks from, I guess, the whatever room, but don't get caught by the senior staff because they'll drag in some sort of boring meeting.
Staff meeting, yeah.
Although they wouldn't be doing that, but that's not the point.
So Stevens is telling Freeman that she's got a full schedule for today, and she's like, well, I just need some time at the end of the day for myself. But yes, we know she's got a busy day planned. So
of unimportant things, which is wonderful.
I love when she walks in the briefing room. Nothing would ever happen around here without the bridge crew. And you get this pan, and they're all like in heroic poses.
With slightly sexier art. Just that little bit of extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like a cartoon comic book still of like the hero, like the Avenger shot, right? It's kind of that. No, I mean, and at this point, I was like commending them mentally for, we're doing this. I mean, it makes sense from the title anyway. You get what they're doing. It's like, logical, neat. And I'm excited to see what her day is, right? Because obviously they're not on a main mission. They're not on a small mission. They're just on a thing they have to do. And of course, Captain, what's she doing in the situation? Nothing. She has nothing that can contribute. So this is a very good day in the life of just basically a team leader, right? Or a colony leader. She isn't really a captain at this moment. She's just how does she help her crew? So I like the mundaneness. And the fact that Stevens was, good to see him back for obvious reasons. We like him in this house. Haha. But also, definitely his most lines in 2 to 3 seasons. So he had a lot in this, which is great. But also, he was Ransom's buddy / helper. Yeah. So I'm guessing he's attaché to kind of the team, the 2 leads of the ship. Based on previous episodes. It's kind of his thing, I guess.
Yeah. I would assume so.
Yeah, good intro.
And then we learn about poor Officer Barnes, who's got, she got the virus from the episode Genesis. That's Zerta pathogen and turned into a Neanderthal.
And
evolved,
which is a fun idea. And everything here does play a part in the episode, which I like. I don't know if it's the low keyness of it that doesn't quite sit, I don't know if this was a TNG briefing, I think they would act it better. I don't know. There's something about it's flat. I think it's meant to be the first time, but second time also does a bit more zazzy. I don't know. Small thing.
With some interesting little nuggets. Like she's a caveman who could read minds, but was afraid of fire. Afraid of open flame. Like, okay, that's a story I'd like to see, but...
Well, that's a lower deck problem, not an upper deck problem.
That's true.
I'm going to be the upper deckers who talk about those things.
She's on the mend, apparently, and Tiana gets scolded here for not being good with pain management.
Fair.
She's told to brush up on her anesthetics, so...
A confusing tale, to be sure.
Yeah. They ask, what's his name? The security officer guy. Kayshawn, how things are, and everything's calm and cool because he says Mos Serrano when the lake was smooth, so nothing going on security-wise.
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. Although, you pointed out, nothing in this episode. I guess he's not a bridge officer. Like in the sense of he's not important enough. Like now we know he's not really counted because obviously he would have had something, right? You would think.
and Shaq says,
and it is odd though now knowing that he really was just a press material thing. We introduced a Kayshawn, right? This race, and it's like no, they're not. He's not really part of the story in any meaningful way in any episode, really. But we were both really rooting for him, so a bit disappointing because it would have been nice to see his anything, even just cutting to him in his quarters having English lessons and failing would be enough for me, right? All I need. That'd be great.
Just him listening to an audiobook from his culture.
Oh, yes.
All these metaphors. It's just what is happening right now?
Yeah. Or similar but not. He's in his, or in the holodeck, maybe, at a speech of all of his different race, he's the kind of a UN speech, right? Or a TED talk. He's listening, and someone's pranked him in the security team that's translated it wrongly. So he's hearing bad metaphors no! Metaphor joke.
Or he's hearing all English Earth metaphors. Only Nixon could go to China,
Elvis,
like that.
when on toilet he died. Yeah. Because I forgot he existed, honestly, until we rewatched this. But why did he not get... Darn.
Shax notifies the captain that Starfleet Command has reported increased chatter from the Clickets.
That's important!
Not that it should affect us.
No.
Yeah, but we find out they're an insectoid species who hates being complimented. Wonder if that will come in important later.
I would love, though, I think this would have benefited from takes up pad, clicks on view screen, on the screen. Here they are. Oh, I don't know them. Show who they are. I think would have slightly improved their reveal.
Maybe,
if they help. Otherwise, because normally you don't try and think of every line said throughout the episode as important, because over half it is not. So this is a good second watch, but I'd like to have seen them because she's on the view screen, right? Just a cut between different points would have been nice.
Yeah.
Mark
Lawrence is here with $10. Thank you so much, Mark. Upper decks. Lower decks. Lower decks.
What about the mid decks? What about the mid decks? They're important too.
No, they're not.
They just do all the work and get another credit.
And then we get this reveal of this thing in the corner. Shaq's covered in blood with a snake coming out of his mouth, which is quite terrifying. Which I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? Like, that's just find out later. It's just a common occurrence. It just happens occasionally. Everybody knows about it. Just wrestling with his inner demons.
Now, this was 10 out of 10. Visually, artistically, gruesome wise, he gets very little to do. This was like, yes, meaty. And as I said to you previously, this would have been we talk about having legacies back, but had Kira as a Nana visitor been in the flashback visions, because she was one of his co-fighters.
I agree.
Would have been that would have been need to be the main plot, right? Or like one of the main plots. But I think seeing her honestly be then a villain, because she would then be part of the negativeness, and then it really brought something. I'm sure she'd love to have played evil Kira playing rebel Kira, and then you could have had like more visuals of Shaxx becoming a Kalasi and then Kieran to kill him. You could have really like gone absolutely. That would have been a great A plot, I think. But
yeah,
it isn't. But that could have been.
Yeah. And Mark Lawrence, member for 21 months at the rank of Admiral, says middle decks.
Yes, indeed. And guys, let us know your thoughts. Super chat them away. We'd love to read out and be interrupted by you. To do your thoughts.
And 43 people here at 37 likes. Hit that like button, guys.
3 more. Come on, 3 more.
But the reason they hear is these bagoon creatures are all riled up and they don't know why. So they bring in a Starfleet ecologist to figure it out.
I wonder who got there first, him or the Admiral.
That's another point. Yep. When does the Admiral arrive? Has he been here for like a week, kind of hiding to surprise her on the day? Because, did a shuttle come into this asteroid thing and drop him off? Or what? But it kind of falls in line that he might have been there for a day or two at least. Because at the end, they're like, I saw your dad in the corridor.
Yeah,
Mariner, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what? It'd just be funny if he was there for like a week or something. Kind of hiding. But anyway.
But also, it would have been very logical to have you see, let's say, the Vulcan shuttle, which we saw as TMP, appear and drop off the guy. And be like, oh, that's where the Admiral came from. They could have both got the shuttle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would have been no problem.
And Devo, they're clickets, not trickets.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Lower Decks did something on par with cleaning out the biofilters on the holodeck for me. It just pissed me off right here.
Oh no.
We learned about the Cordry rocks in the ceiling panels of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They always fall out and hit me on the head when we take damage.
Ouch.
We get a technical explanation for why they exist. Their non-centrosymmetry disrupts the charged leptons in the isolinear pathways of the main deflector. And then he gets cut off. Look, they're not rocks. Just like holodecks don't have biofilters. But that's okay. Lower Decks throwing us curveballs. Sorry, that annoys me.
Oh, but we
brought up all the time now. You can't just say it's not.
But now we know why. That's good, right? We have an answer.
Nope.
It's like 42. You've come seeking an answer. Now you've got one. They're bullshit rocks. Because I do feel like the obviously it's all silly, etc. But the like there wouldn't be isolinear chips in the way they expressed it. Something about the explosion is clearly that, because definitely this and also the engineering bit. There's two bits where this is now technobabble, which is just words together versus trying to make sense, and you can sense there's a difference.
This one makes more sense than the later one, though. The later technobabble in this episode is just awful.
Intentionally, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they do a new chant.
Strong and brave, wise and true. That's what makes us Cerritos crew. Yay!
Wise. Just saying. But yeah, back to the day. Off to the mission.
Yeah, and Barnes trombone playing or whatever.
It's first.
Yeah. I thought she evolved or devolved into a cave woman.
Yep.
Apparently it didn't affect her playing. So it's like, oh.
She's still booked in. No,
Yeah.
seriously. Could go cave smart woman. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It makes sense.
We get a ransoms log of every time we have a specialist come on board, we need to make them feel welcome, that they're part of the team. So I recognize this guy.
Yep.
He was the president of the Federation. And
Not this guy, but this alien.
no, this race. Yes, yeah. Species.
And this is great. Music existing alien race, a bit of extra oomph. I did like. I was trying to work out if I could tell he was evil the second time, and it works well. He's intrigued about the thing, the not cows, but I did think that the tone could be done both, so I appreciated it was sort of consistent. Although they said never got one up close, but given that surely they could just warp in and grab one, I don't know. There's never a reason said why they couldn't just harvest themselves.
Don't know. Maybe the admiral arrived at the same time this guy did.
That's what I was hoping. That makes
Yeah.
sense, but that's also like only 3 hours early.
Yeah.
Gosh, imagine warping, for 3 weeks and being only 3 hours early to a date. You'd think you'd give it at least a few hours versus a literal few. But anyway, they go to the main shuttle bay. Is the lady using the tractor beam that the Olympian
Ollie?
invented? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
Then why isn't that girl there? Because I thought it was her in the first scene. What was the helmet? Because it would have made sense. Everything that occurs being a bit more chaotic would make sense for her. It would be a nice addition. I don't know. I didn't need them to be like this. Should have honestly been all the secondary robot that we know. Versus...
This is beta and delta shift though. This isn't the alpha shift that we kind of see with our other people. So
But the fact that you can have both beta and data up means anyone's available, right? All hands on deck, right? It's that important. I'm glad they're not tardigrades. I'm glad they are something different, because tardigrades do annoy me a bit.
Yeah, well, they're arguing about how to get it on board, and she doesn't want to hurt its feelings. And wait, you take that back. Then we got an asteroid incoming, which attracts them into the bay. So, which I thought was going to be some kind of egg or something. I thought there was going to be something about this because they do come in like lick it essentially like a salt lick. So I thought it was going to be something more important.
Which was lack of research on their part. These bugs like asteroids. Let's bring one in. I guess she's maybe doing, but I thought she was trying. I don't know. I don't think they thought it through that much.
Oh, that's a good point. Devo77X says Sean of Trek Culture pointed out that one of those guys is Towel Guy from the hallway. Oh yeah, the big guy.
He got clothes?
Maybe.
Damn. He's hard to know with clothes, to be honest.
Well, we find out they can cloak. They've got a organic cloaking device to hide their hides.
And we get very dumb dialogue. You grab him. No, he's inside of a shuttle. It's like, you guys are idiots. Doesn't make stuff look good.
And we get ransom. This reminds me of a story. Ugh, there goes a story.
Yeah, I assume this is the start of him trying to annoy them, because he would know better than to take 5 minutes while the thing's damaging the bay. He should know better. Like, at the very least, you should maybe, decompress the bay and, I don't know. These things don't make a lot of sense.
But his story involves the one whale from Station Ops. So, I mean, hey, that's interesting.
And also, what patience the cricket guy, whatever his name is, like to sit there and bullshit this guy. Because clearly they've had time to sit down. And there's a point where you commit to sitting down. Like, this is going to be a long haul.
Yeah.
To sit down. So he's very patient for a very devastatingly powerful alien race that wants to take it. Just saying.
But then we cut to Shax's quarters and we get his personal log. Visions are happening again. More potent than ever before.
No reason. Just they are. Could be linked to the whatevers, but no. That's okay.
And then we get a young Shax.
Let's go with dark hair. Yeah. And a really good transition of the fire burn, and then really nice. I mean, this whole scene is very, very well done.
And the Battle of Timpasa. It makes me want to check and see if it was actually mentioned in Space Nine. Was it? Okay.
I mean, obviously offhand as many are.
Yeah.
Now, I really thought this was a Par Wraith messing with him. Because everything about it feels Par Wraithian. Versus just his anger manifest. Because they're religious people, and this is so tangible. You know, he astral projects out of his body. Well, that's not... If that's literally figurative, then it's just him thinking. Certainly the first time I thought it was going to be something grander. Because it'd be kind of cool if he's a Par Wraith ghoul inside him and he fights it to save a kin. Or, you know, imagine he saved Kira on the battlefield. You know, you could do a lot more with that story. Like, what did you take from it, inference-wise? Because it plays it in such a specific, deeper way.
Never once thought Par Wraith. I just thought he was fighting a literal inner demon. It's kind of confusing at first. I thought it might have to do with an orb, because he does say there's a bomb in the artifact and he throws it, which I thought might have been the impetus for this thing attaching itself to him. But then it's very quickly kind of established as just his inner demons. It would have been cool if it was Par Wraith related, though, like a Par Wraith attached itself to him when he was on the Black Mountain. That's one of the ways. That's one of the ways that he actually came back, because he had the Par Wraith energy or whatever. Yeah, which would add to his anger and aggressiveness, because he already had that, and he has to hold it back. Like, it would be, you could go into a lot of detail for why this is a thing. So,
I mean, if you want to go dark as hell, you could say there's a Par Wraith on the Black Mountain who he sold his soul to come back to kill Cardassians, but the deal involved him losing his memory of the deal, and so he comes back with a Par Wraith, and then blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I just thought, because the red eye is the remorse, like, it's so distinctly he was taken over by a Par, like, it feels like the show, except being black and white. I don't know, it just felt very that vibe to me. I mean, I'm not that disappointed, but it could have been done more interestingly than figuratively. But visually, it's all great, and the way he fights him is fun. Visually, it's really good.
Yeah, I love when he loses his body. I can't fight you, but I can.
Yes. Other me can, yes. Yeah. Which is, I guess if you take it literally, me being quiet is the ultimate fight. That's what he's doing. He's just meditating. That's all he's doing. To fight is to be still.
And then, and then we go down to engineering, and we hear Billups. He had a bagel for breakfast, which upset his, gave him a tummy ache, but he's feeling better now. Anyways, nothing else. Bye.
Very important log. I mean, he had to make that.
It's just great.
Yeah, this one did a lot for him, I think, to kind of up his logical silliness. You know, like, I feel like I get him more after this, which is nice. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, an incident comes up, and so there's a indicator light out, malfunctioning indicator light, and takes off the panel to repair it, and it's like, oh my god. And I love that they mentioned that they retrofitted something, and he probably forgot to fix it. Retrofitted plasma canisters. And then he's like, I sometimes I have to get creative with the repairs, and I guess I never bothered to replace them. I love that, because how many times in a Star Trek episode do they do something like this? You never hear them, you know, actually replace it correctly. They just did it to get by when they needed to.
Twice.
Perfect.
This is number 3.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
No, and it's funny, because obviously he's a great engineer, but he's still a Cerritos class engineer or Cali engineer. So he's great, but this is a really bad thing he let the crew down on. But also I buy it because there's always something else. So it's a good, like, it takes him down a peg, but also it makes you appreciate him more. He's humanized in a way. So it's an interesting balance they did. Speaking of Australian ensign, pretty sure that's one of the first, because it's a very distinct, like, very strong Australian accent. It's lovely to pick.
Yeah.
Fun, not particularly any particular character, but just a nice, gentle ensign who I liked. Good time. And are we going to die with this? Maybe!
Yeah.
Let's do it together. Hey, learning experience. Because that's the thing. There's no point being scared of these giant plasma tubes, because if we don't fix it, we all die. Let's just embrace it and fix it, right? Otherwise we'll die. Ha ha! So it fits super well with his personality. It's just taken to absolute extreme.
Yeah. Although the engineering repelling gear is interesting. Never thought I'd see that.
But. And also he is percussive maintenancing it.
Yes, absolutely.
I wonder if that's a deliberately prodigy reference, because he just hits it. There's nothing else to it, which I liked. Although why are there no engineers? It's like it would be quicker if more people hit it. Like him saying leave engineering just means there's people there to fix it, which means they die quicker. The explosion will kill everybody, so there's no reason I could work out it's just him and her. He should have as many people there to help as possible. Basically, we don't want to pay the actors to be the voiceovers to be in the episode, blah. But doesn't quite make sense logically. There's no reason given. Oh well.
Put on to sickbay. Where Tiana's in a bad mood. And I love the guy. He comes in and says, so I refilled these hypo sprays. We're good to go next time there's a virus that makes everyone sing or whatever. I thought it was kind of funny. No Lower Decks musicals, but...
And I guess you could sort of argue it canonizes the idea that a can make you sing. Possibly.
Ozzy throws in $5. Thank you so much, Ozzy. Mid trickers with cloaking device.
Deadly. I have a thing to say later about the aliens as well. But I like this new guy. I mean, it's nice somebody can stand up to her. Because no one else can, really.
His name's Westlake, so...
Yeah. And it's funny, he's implied to be gay based on the way he's acting. But that works, so there's no possible friction between them. Which I think is why he can be straight with it.
Yeah.
Great use of words. But I don't quite understand. I mean, she wouldn't be allowed to be a medical officer on a ship and not give pain meds ever. Yet she's obviously been allowed enough and not caught enough, and yet the punishment is just... It doesn't make sense, this plot line, really, in any regard to any Trek. Can you imagine Crusher doing this and Picard not finding out and then disciplining? I mean, why can't she be court-martialed for actively hurting her patients or choosing not... Well, she is hurting them by not choosing to help them. You know, broken leg, you don't need painkillers, I'll let you cry, then by the end you're fixed. You still remember the awful pain for 3 straight hours. Like, she's horrible, but if she doesn't understand pain, then I can understand why she doesn't understand pain relief. But then why the hell is she chief medical officer? Terrible choice. It's the worst. It's like getting a shrink who has no feelings, literally no feelings. Well, then you can't understand the people enough to do it. So really, she's awful at this job. She shouldn't be in this position, and I guess they're making a point of that in this. I don't know. Very strange.
Sesiguro 2000, €2. So is Nurse Westlake Tiana's side piece? No.
She's loyal to her big strong scratching post. But yeah, what do you think of my sort of condemnation of the logic of this plot?
I think you're thinking about it too much. It's kind of funny.
But it's all we have of her plot, as in she has so little character, and it's a giant addition. It's like, oh, yeah.
Don't lose sleep over it. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'll forget about it next week. Don't worry. It will leave no impression.
Not even next week. Only 10 minutes.
Yeah. But I love also that we get this specific timeline. We rarely get to have a sense of how long things are on a ship, when things are, because I mean, you can work out, when the guy arrived, when the ship attacked, and therefore how quickly they resolve the situation. That never happens in real time in a show, which is great. So they had to win from 5:30 to 3:30 to 5:30. They had 2 hours to win against the aliens. Love it. Based on the calendar.
Yeah. You're way ahead. Holy shit. Yeah, she needs to update the pain chart, so she has to strap herself in and...
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Here, hurt me. Okay, there you go.
Yes. Hurt her bad.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the schedule is interesting, but... Anyway, we know Ensign Barnes is happy about the captain showing up for a recital. At least we find that out later.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a small audience, so having the captain makes at least got a celebrity turn up.
Yeah. Oh, the fertility event? I didn't even know you weren't human. Okay.
Yeah, they thought, what's the weirdest non-weird thing we could do? Well, they gave me big Galaxy Quest vibes.
Oh, absolutely.
It went
Yeah.
out. It's a life form.
Speaking of, did you watch Red Letter Media's with Jack Quaid? talking
No,
about
very
Galaxy
excited to see
Quest?
that.
It's really good. It's really good.
Will he ever mention he's in Star Trek with them?
Well, they do.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Because I saw most of one of the other things they did, and they didn't mention it.
I know. There's like a running gag where it's like Mike knows more about Star Trek than Jack Quaid does.
I mean, probably yes.
And every time that happens, they put up a picture of him from Strange New Worlds beside Mariner in live action. He was actually in Star Trek, and Mike knows more. It's hilarious.
Like 10,000 actors were, and Mike knows more than most of them, and we might know more than Mike. He gets a lot of things a little bit wrong.
Anyway,
But
yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cute little life form thing. But again, these are all sort of very small moments. Although I like the fact they've got multi-purpose rooms. Again, little details.
We get a one-man play with like Geordie and Roe wandering alone.
I recognise this guy, but I can't remember where from.
Yeah, I don't know. What is his name? Mr. Bingston.
Oh, and this is the same Boimler thing that he had a thing on this room when M became Enterprise D for a second. And of course, these are very limited, vapid sort of scenes. They don't do much. But that's the point, right? They're mundane as hell. And good for her for her entire day just there.
Yes.
You go, guys. And all your days off. None of this is about our job. I can nothing be science. But then aliens. Oh, alien.
Alien ships and an over-the-shoulder reveal, kind of.
I instantly thought the drone from Enterprise with this.
I mean, kind of, yeah. I didn't think that at the time, but
Doesn't do anything cloaky-wise, but, you know, there they are.
anyway, we got more bagoons coming into the bay, and they're damaging shuttles like crazy.
I mean, they fixed last week's or the week before's giant circle versus cube firefight.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping there'd be a line saying, "We just fixed that," because yeah, small thing. They really did destroy that room.
Yeah. They get ransom because everybody's arguing about how to deal with this. It's like, usually my expert guidance cuts through the crew's conflict, but occasionally I have to resort to plan B. Anyway.
Doing weights as a cover for why he fell asleep. Well, more damage is being done.
Yep.
And you know, you talked about earlier about how he wants to look good for the advisor person. He looks terrible to that guy. If that was a real person, he'd give such a terrible, scathing report on ransom. At some point, he's going to do something so silly that he's going to get demoted. You know, because he looks that stupid. Just saying. So I kind of thought this was going to play a part, like he's going to be able to throw them or lift them. You know, like he has to bulk up. Like there's something about, you know, like a Super Saiyan himself so he can grab one, but. No, he's just doing it to be a dick. Back to engineering. Oh, everything's green. Oh, blue. Everything's fine, right? Right?
Sure.
Well, I love the axes on the wall. The designated Starfleet axe. It's set up because it's there later. Starfleet axe of the Delta on the wall.
Yep, the emergency, in case of emergency axe. I thought he's like, I don't know why I did such a half-assed relay. Was my mom visiting? Like, he doesn't remember why.
That one I get.
Great.
That one I get. That I can sympathize on that.
And he got some stuff from some binars. Activates the AI defense golem. To prevent tampering. Artificial construct comes out of the MSD.
Which I guess proves there are hollow projectors in the engineering space.
It would have to be.
Wouldn't be able to happen. I'm a bit disappointed it wasn't a binar because I think this didn't feel very Trek and it took me out of it because you wouldn't do this on any other show, not even Strange Worlds of Discovery. This sort of visual, it wouldn't really be what you would do. So I wish it had been just two binars appearing, like little tiny, like the two sisters in the whatever the Shining. Is that one of the two girls? Yeah, like those that sort of vibe. And binar speaking as one and then going crazy. So I super didn't like this in Trek context. It just feels very unrealistic. And how he's being eaten by a hologram of a monster and then whatever. It's like none of this means anything, right? It's just there for funsies, but it's not grounded in the Trek that we need. So skip kind of quality. It's like, nah.
Yep. She's got to tell a sad story. Anyway, moving on. We got more Tiana being... This thing is used to slice atoms. Yeah, it just at me with the thing. Yeah. Okay.
Well, she can take a kill blast later, so this woman is, immune to death.
Get to see her skeleton. Just saying.
She does set a dangerous precedent. She can literally take death shots. It's quite serious, really.
Yep.
And I think this is meant to be the laser beam that Data dodges.
I think so, yeah. It looks the same.
Yeah. Well, this sort of scene would have been great if they'd cut to a lower decker in the corner in their bed who'd been healed, like, and then cut away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why is sick bay empty? Small detail, but you could have had some lovely lower decks cut to officers having more part of the, like, just from their perspective, it's ridiculous. But from these heroes, it's the thing we have to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a very one-note story.
But back to Shax fighting himself, or his inner demon, and he twists its neck. He's like, "You can kill me, but can you kill? How would you fare against all of your victims, the Cardassian warriors, getting their revenge?"
Although,
cool.
Why does anger add some grey ambiguity as to them being baddies? Because the Cardassians have zero, he has no sympathy for them, but this creature, this other part of his head is trying to make him sympathise with them.
I'm not going to sympathise with them. You've killed me, now kill everybody else.
Yeah, but all your victims, like, you wouldn't think they're victims if you thought they were evil.
Oh, well, I guess the wording's funny, but...
That's why I thought if he's a power wraith, if he's someone else, if he's whatever, there's more depth there they're not doing. Otherwise it would be, here, now fight them again because screw you.
For the people who view this show as canon, are you able to take these sort of scenes seriously?
It varies, yeah.
Yeah.
It varies, and that's okay.
It's obviously the nature of the show to be humorous and be comedic, so you got to take that into account. The mainstays of it are still canonical, but there are some silly things that just don't make sense. So.
Yeah. But still cool visuals. Back to the, I guess they decloaked them. That's cool, somehow.
Well, some of them are still cloaked.
Oh, yeah.
But the ecologist gets knocked over and hits his face off the floor.
Ouch.
Takes off. And then, you get the reveal. Your face fell off. And then you see the skies melting off, which is an interesting visual, let's say.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I find it slightly amusing that they want cloaking tech to be a serious foe. They can metamorphose perfect bodied and shrink. Like, everything about their body can revert into a their life form style. Which I'm guessing, if they beamed on, you'd have to full pattern buffers. If it shuttled in, then I would assume there'd be some sort of scurry scanner. Like, they can blend in as alien races. That's an amazing shape-shifting ability. So that, you don't need cloaks. You've kind of got a cool thing, guys.
But still, a organ that can cloak you is pretty cool.
Yeah. Although it makes you wonder, maybe this organ, shapeshifting, was taken from another creature.
Maybe.
Because it's really freaking gruesome. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. If they just take, not cool obviously, but if they, take organs.
Like he's like, I want to take the organ and then eat the rest depending on the texture and flavor. Anyway.
Pretty much.
So that's why the bagoons have been acting weird, because these guys have been in the rings of the planet.
Mm-hmm. I guess that means they're hunting them around the rest of it. don't know why they necessarily
or the bagoons can just sense their ships or something. It's bugging them.
Why their ships go to the Cerritos?
I don't know.
I don't
The
know.
Cerritos is there because they were acting weird, so they're acting weird around the Cerritos as well.
You're right, the double weird. They wouldn't notice. Right. Yeah, fair. Yeah. And then this is when I was kind of so confused. I thought he said we've had people there at all key positions. I thought that was going to be that every secondary character in every plot line had been one. The Australian in engineering, I guess you could say Shax, maybe whatever, something there. But then they just beam in people. So I'm saying we've got all your security, all your special officers cornered. No, you don't. You have people beaming in now. You didn't have them. What are you on about?
He says why my infiltrators are targeting your senior officers, and then they beam in. So yeah.
They're not really infiltrators. They're just an away team. I don't know. Bad phraseology, and they could have been more fun by doing it other ways. Yeah.
Ugh. But then Ransom finally fell asleep from working out too much, and we cut back to our sick bay. We see all these clickets coming in, and the eels, and they walk into Shax's quarters. We get a few ships surrounding the Cerritos.
I guess no bridge crew to say, Captain, we're being surrounded by alien vessels. No one seems to notice or care. Because you really can't get as close up being seen. And, we're not thinking about any of that, I guess. We're only talking about the bridge crew. And everyone else sucks. Because they didn't think about it, so we're not going to either. Way!
Maybe their ships are giving off the same radiation or detection things as the asteroids. They never say that, but it would make sense why the captain didn't get an alert.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, this is one of the shots where I said earlier where cutting back to the lower decks, our team not noticing anything would be important, because this would have been great if we'd seen, because there's a few scales of the ship, it seems, later on in a later CG shot, if one of these had flown past the Bassard and they're like, do you see that? No, Boimler, nothing to see here. Like a few of those cutaways.
If there was something to worry about, we'd be at red alert right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like little cutbacks would have been really, I think, additive.
Yes. But then Freeman is like, well, the clickets, huh? Everyone ignores the clickets. But once we have the power to cloak our ships, I guess they're going to use the ships, we'll spread all over the quadrants. And she's like, what? Clickets. Why does that ring a bell?
I think so.
Then he says we've faced off before, and she's like, have we? I don't remember when.
No.
Somebody mentioned schisms.
Well, we is not. They were not implying we as in Starfleet. They were implying we as in Cerritos.
I know, but I'm saying somebody during my first reaction, and I'm like, I don't think that's the no.
Interesting.
The name would kind of imply it, but no.
But when does a name imply their language?
A lot, actually. Just not necessarily in Star Trek.
Oh.
Anyway, Barnes shows up.
In Veritas, they might have appeared. On Starlight, the Spheres rendezvous with a clicket ship, Tweak, to obtain a map to the Romulan neutral zone. The clickets attacked Captain Freeman after she thanked them for the map, and a further subsequent misunderstanding led to a brief exchange of phaser fire between their vessels in Veritas. Oh.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Let me go look at Veritas. So it had to be them.
Yeah. We hit 50 likes, which is awesome, guys. Thank you. If you haven't hit like yet, though, give it a tap. We'd appreciate it. Super chat in with any thoughts you have about this episode, anything you'd like to contribute.
This helps the channel go, so help us go.
Yeah, and vote in the poll if you haven't. 55 votes right now, so.
Alright, let's look at this. When we to the next scene, I'll find Veritas.
Well, Barnes comes in and kicks the crap out of the guy and says, thank you for coming to my recital.
Rotate.
And then, get on your feet, Stevens. We have to repel the invaders. He's like, but that's not on the schedule. Seriously. And then we're back to engineering. Like I said, a lot of very quick cuts in this episode that kept the pace moving quite nicely. So.
Maniacs! Captain, what happened? They just randomly attacked me, but it's a bit Richard.
Oh, even the same ship. Crazy.
Really?
But yeah, Barnes comes kablooing. Then we get a lovely Rathacon reference, although odd he wants to commit suicide, given that she was break through.
An access for emergencies. What do you think this is?
Yeah, and given the gas hasn't hurt her at all, it's like he's willing to die, and it's just, bit more force to Rathacon.
Ray Ricks has apparently joined the channel at the rank of Federation Council.
Oh!
Thank you, Ray.
Ray, that is absolutely spectacular.
That is.
You now have power over us in a way you did not have before. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Mm-hmm,
oh dear.
So here we go. Some weird... I mean, Technobabel's weird enough as it is. But we have to decouple the deuterium conduits before the thermal blankets push the valve blocks into the adjustment coils. I'll deactivate the magnetic constrictors while you cycle the reactor conduits. I mean, the last part kind of, but the thermal blankets, come on now.
Yes, definitely an intentional nonsense, which, as long as you can tell, it's fine.
Then back down to the shuttle bay, and we get a Clickit about to kill Ransom, which Towel Guy saves him, I guess. And so this is where, if he's faking to be asleep, I mean, that's one thing with the bagoon in there, whatever, let the ensigns handle that. The damaging property, who cares? It's not a big deal, right? But now you have an invader on the ship with a knife trying to kill your crew and possibly you, and you still fake being asleep through it all? It's okay.
Like, it could have done with all it needed, and they're having a really awesome hand-to-hand fight. Cuts around from this. You know? Like, he says, they're getting it.
They got this.
But otherwise, he just looks terrible, and there's not really anything to say about that, because he has no idea what's going on. Right?
Well, they take him out pretty quick, so...
They do.
Box
I mean, look, when you only have a towel on, you have to be really good with all your other senses. So when he's finally in the field, he did awesome things.
But they all come together and they agree that Ransom is the worst. He sucks big time. So we got to put aside our differences, even though Beta Shift hates Delta Shift.
Ugh.
We got to get these bagoons under control just to spite him. Like, let's work together. So.
And I like we hate each other for various good reasons. Do you want to go into them? No. Which I did like.
I mean, we've kind of gone over why our characters from Alpha Shift hate Beta Shift, so we've kind of covered that ground. We've seen it a few times.
Well, are they still Alpha Shift if they're no longer ensigns? Would these not have taken over? Because only would these not be the new people for those bunks, possibly?
Maybe.
But I got to pop out for a second. I will leave you on the wide shot. I'll be listening. See you in a second.
On the wide shot, which we just finished talking about. So yeah, they work together, and Ransom's plan has come to fruition. Like each other. So not like each other, but they're working together, and they got the bagoons under control. Makes Ransom look. I don't know. I kind of like Ransom in this episode, though. Honestly, I like the way that he's a very nice guy. He has faith in the ensigns and the people under his command, and he does questionable things to bring it out in them. So I think it's fine personally, but anyhow, Ransom would jump into action if the ensigns didn't start working. I mean, possibly, but he almost got stabbed in the back before the ensigns. And then, again, you've got an intruder on your ship wielding a knife. I wish, like Sam said, there would have been a scene where he kind of opened his eyes and go, like, okay, they got this. I'm good. I don't need to jump in. Would have been nice. Small thing, but anyway. Ransom is one of those method actors. Yeah, perhaps. Ransom slept all the way to the top. Yeah, that gives new meaning to sleeping your way to the top, for sure. A little bit different context, but sure. I have nothing else to say about this scene, so I'm going to have to wait for Sam to come back because I can't move on to the next scene. But anyway, super chat in, guys. If you have any thoughts or comments about this episode, we're going to be ranking it sooner than later out of 10. So if you want to super chat in now with your scores out of 10, it'd be great. I'll get to those after we give our scores. But hit the like button. 53 likes is great, but we could do probably better because we have 60 votes on the poll. So let's try to go for 60 likes. Kirk got by Andorian spy. That was for real trick to us. Ray Ricks throws in £10. Annoyingly, changing payment method reset my membership. Anyway, this would have been a better episode as second or third episode of the season, not with only 3 episodes left. 100% agree with you, Ray. But I still love the concept of this episode. I think this is a fun episode. I like these other characters that we never really get enough time with. So I enjoy this one. The Wave Voyager Lost Shuttles, you can see they have little value. I mean, they do when you can replicate all the parts to fix them or replace them. So yeah, kind of. Anyway, I apologize that Sam is not here. Like I said, I can't progress the discussion on any further. So, but yeah. Anything you guys want to ask me while I'm waiting? While we're waiting? Go ahead. Do a dance for you. Click it. Click it. Click it or ticket. If you were around in the 80s, you know about the click it or ticket. At least in my area, I don't know. Might not be a thing where you come from, so...
Hello. And now they get attacked at point blank and don't get hit. Huzzah! Terrible phaser fight people.
Yep.
The trombone reflection. Those guns they're wielding look like super soakers.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, they shoot Tiana. I was set to kill. So am I, motherfucker.
Yeah, the guard says, this'll hurt more than you ever imagined, but it's not enough. So interesting, she can take a kill shot.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. And yes, she brutally hurt someone else again.
Well, that's not as bad as what Shax does in a second.
Well,
because he's killing Cardassians, and then he slips from his astral projection self into his real body and kills everybody in his own room. Which, if they were just delegates or diplomats or anyone else...
They killed them, just brutally maimed them.
They're twitching, and the one guy, he basically bear hugs and snaps his back.
Oh yeah, you've seen Worf and such. They can heal vertebra.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Yeah, he's brutally hurt them, but they'll be probably fine. But I loved how they definitely took inspiration from the Matrix for a second. He's like... Very Matrix. Yeah. And
he comes out of it, he's like, oh, buddy, sorry about that.
Yeah, going from a murder spree to a, ooh, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's interesting he kills the guy who's in projection, dies out of the guy, and then goes into him. What an interesting visual. The ghost of a ghost goes into himself and he becomes whole again. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
At least save the day, kind of.
They get on the bridge and they're like, "You have no way to defeat us." And she's like, "I guess I have to compliment you on your successful invasion." It's just funny, the way she's leaning into this, and I think that I gotta find the exact quote. My thing just chopped out on me. Hold on a second.
Yeah, some of the best memes of her just being positive.
Yeah, it's not my fault your species evolved a fight or flight response to be praised. You're handsome. You've got amazing breath. I love your work. I'm impressed with your whole vibe.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you're a captain doing his best for his crew, and I respect that. That's great. That's great.
Although it brings to question the idea of what if, I guess it doesn't matter if they're lying compliments?
Doesn't matter, I don't think.
That's what I mean. Like, it's actually, a really odd flight of fight if it does just the word of a compliment. Whereas I would have thought it'd be more interesting from a structural point of view if she would use real things. Because I doubt she thought their breath really was good, whatever you said. So we were nice. They actually had to do real compliments, or it didn't work. But yeah, incredibly easy wrap up. But it was set up, therefore no problem. Just a bit easy. And
Merlos makes a good point. There was nobody on the bridge when they got on the bridge. So maybe that's why there was no alert that there were ships nearby. Everybody was just taking a day off on the Cerritos, apparently.
Again, Cerritos, not a good ship in the fleet. It's a lower class ship with not very good officers. Because several times we've had people like Mariner, like the Olympus lady, who've been right near being thrown out Starfleet and then shoved on Cerritos, right? Which shows that's the lowest rung of the chain before they get drummed out of Starfleet. So this is the fact that they're so inefficient.
Well,
yes, it's not a good ship.
It's not the lowest, because after this, there's Starbase 80.
Lowest star ship. You're right. That posting is a punishment.
Well, it's a chance for a second chance.
That was such a good episode. Oh, anyway. But yeah, great Carol. The thumb meme, I hope, will live on forever. It's a great meme. And the beam we're using the Borg beam sound effect, as is the tradition with alien beams. And they leave, and everything is fine and huzzah. And they tag the space cow. Nice little detail.
Yeah. Anyway, the ensigns are talking about how nothing brings enemies together like a mutual enemy.
Hint, hint.
I'm talking about Ransom, not the invaders.
They were fine. They were alright. I quite like those guys. So. Yeah.
And we get Ransom, wakes up, works every time. First officer's log. As usual, my grasp of the lower decker mind has proven to... And gets caught by this red-haired lady who says, "Hey, you're kind of cute when you pretend you're an idiot."
Uh-huh.
Cool. Maybe he's going to have a girlfriend next episode.
Well, I don't know if you can date her at that lower decker.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't think she's into working out, so I don't think that's going to quite work. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the Montgomery Scott thing. If you pretend you're amazing by lying about the work. And he pretends he's dumb. Or is it like, not Harrison, not Han Solo. Who's the other one who pretends they're dumb? Oh, Jack O'Neill. He's not like smart, but he's a street smart that he pretends not to be, so he gets away with stuff. So, similar to Ransom, just Ransom pretends to be absolutely inept at things, apart from the working out.
And then in engineering, it was a scary, weird day. But she says his first name, which is Endarthio.
Don't know if we had that yet. That was cool.
Yeah, we have in the episode with with his family.
It's rarely said, then, is what I mean.
Yeah. Say, whoa, gonna stop you right there. First name's only when we're on the brink of death.
Which is fair. True. Fair and true. But boy, the ball's on her to go first name.
Then a cadet shows up and he noticed a burned out indicator light above the door. Let's do this.
Which is how all this madness started. With a burned indicator light. It's going to happen again. Oh no. Yeah. I forget.
I love that they were in the Wesley Crusher, like acting ensign.
That's the cannon, right? Using the
Yep.
cannon. But yeah, he's such an adorable sort of... Aha! We almost lost the ship. Back at it for a broken LED. Haha.
And then Stevens is like, there's nothing else today. And she's like, are you sure? Those clickets must have put us behind. Look, see, there's a meeting in holodeck 3.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes on to say, it's her anniversary today. She was going to have a nice long call with Admiral Freeman. And he's like, you still should. And she's like, but the most important part of being a captain is, taking care of the crew and the schedule.
Sure.
And then, sure enough, look, there's Admiral Freeman.
Who no one knew was there.
Except for Stevens. He definitely knew.
Sure. Well, yeah. He helped book it a month ago.
Yeah.
He didn't care the red alert was probably... Well, I guess not going because no one ordered it. Doesn't matter. Don't think about it. There's many structural plot problems. Don't think about it. He's there in a tie and a dinner suit. Cool.
For a romantic dinner.
Don't know why in Paris, except it was in TNG. I wish it had been somewhere else, somewhere custom. But that's okay. It's still nice if you don't think about it too hard. I don't think they did either.
How
But
was your
it's-
happy anniversary? How was your day? Oh, alien invaders, chaos and engineering,
Mhm.
Shaxx fighting demons, just the usual. He's like, glad to hear you had it easy. It's like, okay.
I don't think any of them were making fun of that. I think they all thought, oh yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have way worse to deal with it. I have a galactic problem in my work.
I love the shot of Stevens as the door's closing though, like, oh.
Yeah, I made love happen. Now, as I said in another review, it's so odd that they very much gave the impression in season 1 these guys were divorced.
They did, yeah, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
pretty hardcore, without saying it. And, I mean, it's nice they ended on this, because he's not going to be in the last term, I'm sure, to give a nice closing. Okay, they're all great, happy, fine, good, nice. But you didn't need to start where you started if you're going to end where you ended. They obviously didn't know where they were going, but I would have thought they'd go back and change it if they would have a second go at this. Or develop it more. The idea of seeing the love story between an admiral and a captain is very interesting. We've done nothing with it, whatever, but it's nice to at least acknowledge it once more before we end.
Yeah.
Soup, margarita, and Ractagino. Or whatever it is.
Yeah. Anyway, Miglimo comes in and says, oh, you left the meeting really early. Is everything fine? He's like, oh, just my usual flight from my astral projection.
Mm-hmm.
Unresolved rage. And then, yeah, therapy can be armor and even more weapons in your metaphysical battles.
Mm-hmm.
Spills soup on Tiana, and she's like, chowder's hot. So I guess she does feel pain.
Given that she got killed by a laser beam, I'm not sure why heat is the thing. I can only assume that her pain sensors have been destroyed by the day and therefore now the smallest thing hurts. Because it didn't make sense as a logical ending, but they didn't have anywhere to go, right? We've killed her twice in the story by an atom gun and laser gun, so we can't go anywhere serious with it. Let's just have a joke about it. And why hasn't Shaxx gone to therapy before? Because he would have, if it's regular, makes he would have offered every other time. Doesn't make sense. Whatever. Moving on.
Maybe he goes for 1 or 2 sessions and then thinks he's good, and it goes for months and months and months. And this is just a reminder to, hey, come to therapy.
The main thing about the scene, though, is that Tiana, as crazy as she is still a kitty cat.
She's a good kitty. Rubs her head and she starts purring.
Yes.
Oh, look, here's the stars of the show walking in.
Clearly.
Did I just hear someone say we've fended off invaders? Did we miss something? It's like, nah, nothing ever happens unless we're involved.
Yeah, we had a day off, so they all had a day off too. In fact, they had a boring day.
Yeah. You get Kayshawn escorting them, and there's more Bagoon in the hallway now, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perhaps the commanders are leads of their own stories when we're not observing them.
Mm-hmm. That's fair to Lynn. You should know this. You're logical and a Vulcan. You know this.
And then they go on to say, I saw your dad in the hall. No way. And so Lynn makes a joke of saying, yeah, I saw the captain and your dad getting trapped in a painting. What? No way, really? No, just kidding.
She can lie now, if it's a joke.
Humor.
I think Spock would say that. But she's not Spock, so it ends with a rather cute little baby dude trying to catch up in a ball. It's a cute way of ending it.
Mm-hmm. The end of Upper Decks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not the end of Lower Decks yet.
But this is the penultimate, the one they chose to be the one that would lead in before the lead in to the end. The 8th episode of the last season. So, guys, you can listen to Stuart now about what we should do next. Haha.
I already told them earlier when you were gone that they should start putting in their super chat scores. Putting your super chat scores out of 10. We will read those when we are done giving our final summation and scores as well. We want to hear what you think of this episode and where it falls in the lineup of this season. So,
yeah,
super chatting your scores, and I will read those out when we are done.
I really want to know what you guys think. I'm very intrigued.
Indeed.
Very intrigued. So, Stuart, after we
Yes.
read it for 1 hour and 18 minutes, which shows there's a lot less talk about than normal ones, but that's okay. What did you think? And how do you feel after we read it for this amount of time?
I still love it. I think it's great. I don't like the Tiana stuff because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially the way it ends with her. Like the most minor annoyance, I guess, for her was a lot of pain. I don't know. It's just funky. The Shaq stuff is great. Ransom, I kind of have a respect for Ransom a little bit, but he's also an idiot. It was missing a scene there for sure. I wish he would have, like you said, opened his eye and been like, okay, they got this. I don't need to wake up, or I don't need to step in. They're going to work together to fix this problem. That would have been better, but regardless, Freeman was fine. Nothing really special there. Got to see more Stevens, which was great. Billups, I think, was a really fun one as well. I like Billups a lot. So the Bagoons and the Beta and Delta shifters were fine. I didn't realize that was Tal Guy until that one comment, so that's cool. But yeah, it's a fun watch, and like I said, the pacing on this one's really good because it goes by so quick as you're cutting from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and there's always something going on with different storylines. It's not all related to one story, which is interesting as well. So I thought it was great. Not the best of the season, I think. Let me see. You don't have to tell me. Fully dilated, the time dilation went. Okay, thank you for your help. Anyway.
Hi, Stuart, welcome back.
I never went anywhere.
You did, sorry. So, Stuart, or your score then if you were going to give a score, because we didn't hear that.
You didn't hear any of that? Seriously?
Just the last little bit. Just the last little bit.
I'm going to score it 8.9 out of 10 for the season.
Okay, cool.
For all Lower Decks, probably an 8.7.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, wonder what you guys think. Super chatting, guys. We need a couple more to bring out this live.
How about you? What do you think of this one now, after talking about it? Has it changed at all?
I like it about the same. There's definitely more plot problems I thought going in. I think reviewing it with you, we've seen more like dead end scenes and dead end moments and dead end that didn't make sense, or the idea of the scene was put more thought in than the reason for the scene more than what the scene logically made sense. And there's loads of ways you can improve the episode by adding depth. And part of why the Lower Decks episode worked with TNG is because it had 40 minutes. This did too much, spread out too much, if anything truly meaning. Because in Lower Decks, part of the fun of the episode was that they cut back to the people throughout. And they had both of it, and it ended up being a big story. This didn't have that at all, so you lost a little bit of it. But yeah, it's fine. It's definitely more of a, an okay, it should have been definitely like episode 3. I mean, it's an awfully placed episode 8. Like, it's such a, we're ending on kind of a, okay, and certainly if I was going, like, if the Lower Decks crew have such big adventures, then surely the Upper Decks crew have bigger adventures, but they feel, that's another review, they feel so small, even though it's Billups' ship almost destroying, and an alien invasion, they all feel so small for some reason to me. The way they're told, the pace of them, pace is good of the episode, but like all individual stories feel small. So I wish they'd amped it up a bit, even though they tried to, but for me they failed. to make it feel like, wow, the Upper Decks could get into big adventures, or make it really silly and small, but it kind of doesn't do either. I'm not sure why. Wish it had been the Bajoran stuff. That would have been really cool. Or just choose 2, or like have the Par Wraith be the plot for the engineer, the security guy, and then have that linked to the reason the warp core is destabilizing, whatever. Have 2 linked, etc. Yeah, it is thoroughly decent, but they've had way better episodes, and it definitely doesn't have that top layer of wow. For me, I had in my head the whole time a 7 out of 10. It's better than a 6, but it's for me, I think it's probably a 7 across the board. There are a lot of better Lower Decks episodes in general. This season's not overly strong, so I think 7's fair for this season. I'm going to 6.8 for all Lower Decks. It should have been a lot better, but there's nothing particularly wrong. Just not great. Just, you know, a normal Lower Decks episode. Just not great. Yeah, good idea though.
I thought it was fun. I loved it.
I know you did.
Let's see. We got 1 super chat score from Ray Ricks with £2, so thank you. 6 out of 10. Was fun, but should have come earlier. I agree. It should have definitely been earlier in the season. But
or they would then have had to have, whatever episode was replacing it would have to be a better episode as well. Like if the Klingon one had replaced it, that would have to be a better episode to be the 8th slot, right? Like without it being the 2 big ones this season, there was nothing really that's too much better than this season. You know, they're all kind of in a similar vein, and then there's 2 really good ones. Guys, your thoughts?
Let's close the poll out.
Oh, yes.
Waiting for another super chat. What did you think of the episode with 65 votes?
Interesting.
Loved it wins with 42%. Liked it, decent, 40%. Didn't like it, nope, sorry, 6%. And then 12%, it was okay, just okay. So 12% thought it was okay, but well, liked it, and decent is kind of mediocre as well. So
it's a range.
Too many choices there. We need 3. Loved it, it's okay, or didn't like it. Because that's fine. It's fine.
Yes.
All right. What mediocre was basically 52% if you add those 2 up. So.
But 40% also really liked it. So, all right. What are the non-super chat scores? You all wonderful people are saying. Aussie 9.5. Mum gives it a 9.6. So his favourite of Lower Decks. Good for you, sir. Stanley's 8.5. Again, one of the top. Donnie was, of course, 10, but it's a fictional Donnie, fictional 10. Orange 9 out of 10. He loved it. Joseph 7.4, very silly, but very fun. Merlot 7, decent mini plots. Mark Lawrence was a 7 out of 10, it was good, but out of place in the season. And Doy does indeed go 10 out of 10. His score is entirely broken, and we all know that. Huzzah! Huzzah.
Perfect.
What we're doing tomorrow, Stuart, which I'm sure we'll all have thoughts on.
Section 31 trailer.
Yay. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be more opinions on this episode because it's a thing.
Couldn't be more excited.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Looking forward to it. So join us tomorrow. So next week, but tomorrow. Hey, welcome, Dolly. No, Ray, it'll be great. We'll have fun. Fun, I say.
Yep. Anyway, so join us for that, guys.
I want to go watch our episode on the Voyager A this weekend. It's really great. You never had views that good. Go watch it. It's great.
Part 2 will be out this weekend.
Boom.
All right. So until next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's kind of fun.
We'll get back to our boring Upper Decks life, and you guys can be the stars of your own shows.
Yes. Go. Live.
Be free.
Bye, guys.
Bye.